Before April arrives, there is a quiet moment to pause, to observe, and to reflect upon the space in which we live. Our homes are not merely shelters, they are mirrors of our inner state, and even the smallest object can influence the harmony of our daily life. There is one overlooked element in the bathroom, humble in appearance yet capable of creating great disturbance, that calls for our attention. Ignoring it may lead not only to inconvenience but to costly repairs that disrupt our peace. Water is the source of life, yet it can also teach us the lessons of impermanence and care. Leaks, hidden behind tiles or beneath sinks, begin as whispers, subtle signs of imbalance. If left unheeded, these whispers grow louder, manifesting as cracks, damage, or mold that may demand thousands to repair. The quiet wisdom of mindfulness urges us to notice these early signals. By removing or addressing the source of a faulty seal, a leaking faucet, or a damaged pipe before it escalates, we honor the flow of life and maintain balance in our dwelling. Consider the simplicity of this act. To remove the harmful element is not merely to prevent financial loss, but to cultivate awareness, responsibility, and respect for the space that nurtures us. Each step we take toward preventive care is a reflection of attentiveness, a practice of presence in the ordinary. It reminds us that great suffering often arises not from sudden catastrophes but from small neglects left unattended. This lesson extends beyond the bathroom. Just as the faucet left dripping quietly erodes the structure beneath, so too can small, unexamined choices erode the foundations of our life. By acting with care, by removing what no longer serves the health of our home, we invite harmony, clarity, and balance into our daily experience. As April approaches, let this be a gentle call to action. Look deeply, observe carefully, and remove that one thing that threatens the stability of your home. In doing so, you safeguard not only your finances but the serenity of your environment. In the mindfulness of such simple yet essential actions, you find that the path to well-being is not in grand gestures but in the quiet attentiveness to the small things. By honoring these small acts, we cultivate a life free from unnecessary disturbance. We learn that prevention is itself a form of wisdom, and that harmony in our home begins with awareness in the present moment. Small neglects can lead to big problems. Hidden issues in the bathroom, like leaks or damaged seals, may seem minor at first but can escalate into costly repairs if ignored. In our daily lives, it is often the smallest, most inconspicuous things that hold the greatest potential to disrupt our peace. A bathroom, a place meant for cleansing and renewal, may quietly harbor elements that, if left unnoticed, can slowly bring about great disturbance. Consider the humble leak hidden behind tiles, under sinks, or within the plumbing. At first, it is merely a whisper, a tiny trickle of water that seems harmless. We may glance at it and think it too insignificant to demand attention. Yet, the lesson lies in the understanding that small neglects, left unattended, accumulate over time, just as a drop of water consistently falling can carve stone. Water, a source of life, carries both generosity and quiet power. When contained and respected, it nourishes. When ignored and uncontrolled, it erodes. A minor leak may go unnoticed for weeks or even months, and during this time the surrounding structures absorb the moisture. Walls, floors, and cabinets begin to weaken in silence. Mold may emerge, bringing with it health risks that are not immediately apparent but grow steadily, affecting the air and the comfort of the home. The unseen stress on the foundation of the bathroom becomes apparent only when the damage has grown too great to ignore. At that moment, what was once a trivial drip has transformed into a problem demanding hundreds or even thousands of dollars in repair. This phenomenon is not simply a matter of plumbing or construction, it is a reflection of life itself. Often we treat small issues with neglect, believing them to be insignificant until they accumulate and demand attention in overwhelming measure. In the home, in relationships, in personal habits, it is the subtle, ignored actions that quietly shape outcomes. A small leak teaches us a lesson in attentiveness. To see what is often overlooked, to respond before crisis emerges, to act with presence rather than procrastination. Addressing a minor problem before it becomes major is not merely a practical task, it is an exercise in mindfulness. It calls for awareness of the present moment, an understanding of cause and effect, and the patience to examine carefully. By noticing the whisper of a drip, by acknowledging the potential for harm, we align ourselves with the natural flow of responsibility and care. Preventing the escalation of a problem is an act of wisdom, a reflection of our capacity to respect the spaces we inhabit. Thus, even the smallest acts, such as checking seals, observing pipes, and attending to early signs of leakage, become profound practices. They remind us that life's greatest disturbances often begin as the gentlest, quietest signals. By responding early, by honoring the subtle warnings, we maintain balance in our home and in our own lives, avoiding unnecessary suffering and loss. The small drip that could have led to a $1,000 repair becomes instead an opportunity to cultivate attentiveness, responsibility, and harmony. Awareness and observation are essential. Mindfully observing your home, even the small corners, allows you to detect problems early before they become serious. Awareness and observation are gifts we give ourselves, yet they are often overlooked in the rhythm of daily life. In the quiet corners of our homes, subtle signs of imbalance can appear and fade unnoticed, like shadows passing across the floor. The bathroom, a place of cleansing and renewal, is one such space where hidden disruptions may dwell. A faucet that drips, a seal that loosens, or a pipe that whispers moisture into the walls, these are not dramatic intrusions. Yet they hold the potential for great consequence if left unseen. The practice of mindfulness asks us to look carefully, to attend not only to what is obvious but also to what hides in plain sight. Observation requires patience. It is not a hurried glance or a fleeting acknowledgement, but a deliberate engagement with the environment. One must bend to see beneath the sink, listen to the subtle rhythm of water, and notice changes in texture, color, or sound that signal the early presence of a problem. By cultivating such attentiveness, we learn to perceive the delicate balance that sustains our home, much like the balance that sustains our own inner life. Every crack, every drip, every stain is a message from the space we inhabit, a reminder that harmony is maintained not through neglect but through conscious attention. To observe is to honor responsibility. It is a recognition that our actions or our inactions have effects that ripple outward, often in ways that we may not immediately perceive. A minor leak left unchecked can silently weaken walls, foster mold, and compromise the foundation of our home. Yet, if we observe carefully, if we respond to the subtle cues, we prevent unnecessary suffering and expense. Awareness transforms these small acts into profound lessons. In tending to our environment with care, we cultivate not only a safe home but also a disciplined mind, capable of noticing the hidden currents of life that shape our experiences. This practice extends beyond the bathroom. Life itself offers small signals, subtle shifts that hint at imbalance or impending difficulty. Relationships, health, finances, and personal habits, all present whispers that, if ignored, grow into challenges we cannot easily contain. By training ourselves to observe the minor details in our physical surroundings, we also cultivate the habit of perceiving the subtleties in our inner and outer worlds. Awareness is the bridge between potential disorder and mindful action, the gentle guide that allows us to respond rather than react, to prevent rather than repair. Through careful observation, we come to understand that the smallest things often carry the greatest lessons. A simple leak, a subtle stain, a slight odor, all become opportunities to practice vigilance, responsibility, and mindfulness. Each observation is a step toward harmony, a quiet reminder that the present moment contains the power to prevent future suffering. By looking closely, listening carefully, and attending fully, we honor both our environment and ourselves, transforming routine attention into a profound act of care. Preventive action reflects responsibility, removing or fixing potential issues. Proactively not only prevents financial loss but cultivates care and attentiveness in daily life. Preventive action is a reflection of responsibility, a quiet practice that honors both our home and ourselves. In the ordinary spaces we inhabit, small issues can grow unnoticed, quietly accumulating into disturbances that demand attention, effort, and often considerable expense. A bathroom, simple in appearance, is filled with elements that require care. Faucets, pipes, drains, seals, and tiles all work together to maintain harmony. When one of these components falters, the consequences may ripple outward, affecting the integrity of the structure, the comfort of the space, and even the health of those who dwell within it. To respond proactively before problems escalate is an act of wisdom, a practice of mindfulness in daily life. Taking preventive action is not merely a practical decision, it is a deliberate acknowledgement of cause and effect. Water, though gentle in its flow, possesses the power to erode stone and weaken foundations over time. A leak that is ignored today can become a costly repair tomorrow. By addressing the issue early, replacing a worn seal, tightening a loose pipe, or removing a damaged fixture, we intervene in the natural course of events with care and attentiveness. This simple act transforms potential crisis into calm, turning what might have been a source of stress and financial burden into an opportunity for harmony and ease. Responsibility in this sense is closely linked with awareness. Awareness without action remains incomplete. It is the combination of observation and response that creates balance. The act of preventive care is a tangible manifestation of mindfulness, showing respect for the environment and for the life that moves through it. By choosing to act, we demonstrate that we do not ignore the small things, understanding that even minor neglect can accumulate into major challenges. This is a principle that extends beyond the bathroom. In every aspect of life, early attention to subtle issues preserves energy, prevents suffering, and nurtures a sense of stability. Moreover, preventive action fosters a deep sense of peace. There is a quiet satisfaction in knowing that one has addressed a problem before it could cause harm. It is a reminder that we are capable of shaping our circumstances through conscious choices. Each thoughtful intervention, no matter how small, is a reflection of care and discipline, an expression of respect for the spaces we inhabit and the lives we lead. By acting before a leak becomes a flood, we cultivate habits that ripple outward, shaping not only our home but our character, teaching patience, diligence, and foresight. In this way, preventive action is more than maintenance, it is a form of mindfulness in motion. It bridges the gap between knowledge and experience, awareness and responsibility, observation and harmony. By removing or repairing what threatens balance, we protect our home, preserve our peace of mind, and cultivate a life guided by thoughtful presence. In attending to these small yet essential acts, we honor the principle that prevention, rooted in care and attentiveness, is itself a profound form of wisdom. Lessons extend beyond the home. Just as small neglect in a bathroom can cause damage, unattended small choices in life can accumulate and create imbalance. Mindfulness applies to all areas of life. The lessons we learn from our home extend far beyond the walls and fixtures that surround us. Just as a small leak in a bathroom can quietly weaken structures and lead to costly repairs, small choices and unattended matters in life can accumulate and create imbalance. Life itself is made up of countless subtle actions, decisions, and habits, many of which may seem insignificant at first. Yet left unexamined, these minor acts have the power to shape our experiences profoundly, affecting relationships, health, finances, and inner peace. By observing and addressing even the smallest matters at home, we cultivate the capacity to perceive the subtle currents of our own life, learning to act with intention before challenges grow too large to manage. There is wisdom in seeing parallels between the outer world and the inner world. A neglected faucet, a loosened pipe, or a weakened seal mirrors the neglect we may show in personal responsibilities or in our relationships with others. Just as water left unchecked erodes walls and foundations, unaddressed tensions, procrastinated decisions, or overlooked duties can slowly erode trust, health, and stability in our lives. The practice of mindfulness teaches that awareness and timely action are essential not only in maintaining a home but in nurturing a balanced, harmonious life. By attending to what is small and immediate, we prevent the accumulation of difficulties that might later seem insurmountable. Understanding this principle allows us to approach both our environment and our personal journey with intentional care. The small acts of maintenance, repair, and preventive attention are more than chores. They are exercises in foresight, responsibility, and respect. They train the mind to notice patterns, to perceive potential issues before they grow, and to act with deliberate purpose. In this way, each action in the home, however mundane, becomes an opportunity to practice discernment, patience, and conscientiousness. By observing the early signs of imbalance and responding with care, we cultivate a mindset that carries naturally into every aspect of life. Moreover, this awareness fosters a profound sense of presence. In tending to the minor yet essential tasks, we slow down, observe carefully, and recognize the interconnectedness of actions and consequences. We come to understand that life, like the home, requires attention not only to what is visible but also to what lies beneath the surface. Preventive action, whether it is fixing a leaking faucet or resolving a subtle tension in a relationship, allows harmony to persist without dramatic upheaval. It is a practice of respect for the natural flow of life, a recognition that small efforts today can prevent unnecessary suffering tomorrow. In the quiet attentiveness to these small matters, we discover a deep, enduring lesson. That harmony, whether in our home or in our life, is maintained through careful observation, timely response, and thoughtful care. By recognizing the hidden power of seemingly minor actions, we not only protect our surroundings but cultivate the skill of mindful living, ensuring that small issues never grow into overwhelming challenges. In this way, the wisdom learned from tending to a home reflects the greater truth of life itself, that balance is preserved through mindful attention to the details, and serenity is achieved through thoughtful, deliberate care. Harmony through simple acts, taking small, mindful steps to maintain your environment, fosters balance, clarity, and serenity, showing that wisdom often lies in everyday actions. Harmony is not achieved through grand gestures alone, it is cultivated through small, mindful acts that honor the spaces we inhabit and the lives we lead. The simple steps we take to maintain our home, such as removing a leaking faucet, repairing a damaged pipe, or addressing a weak seal in the bathroom, ripple outward into a broader practice of balance and attentiveness. These acts, though practical in nature, carry profound lessons for life. They remind us that serenity, stability, and well-being are the results of consistent care, thoughtful observation, and deliberate action. By attending to the small things, we prevent the accumulation of stress, avoid unnecessary suffering, and create an environment that nurtures peace and clarity. In the home, every detail matters. A tile left cracked, a drain left slow, a fixture left neglected. These may seem minor at first, yet their impact grows silently over time. Ignored, they invite larger issues: water damage, mold, structural weakening, and expensive repairs. Through mindful attention, we intercept these challenges before they escalate. In doing so, we honor not only our physical environment, but the principle that taking care of small matters is itself a reflection of wisdom. Prevention becomes a form of meditation in motion, an outward expression of inner presence and responsibility. The practice of harmony extends beyond household maintenance. It is a principle that applies to every aspect of our lives. Relationships flourish when we notice small gestures, attend to subtle signals of need, and act with compassion before misunderstandings grow. Health is preserved when we pay attention to minor discomforts, gently correcting habits before they become serious conditions. Work and personal projects thrive when we address minor inefficiencies before they cascade into overwhelming problems. The home becomes a microcosm of life, teaching that the small, consistent choices we make shape the larger patterns of our experience. Moreover, harmony cultivated through mindful care nurtures a profound sense of calm. When we act attentively, preventing small problems from growing, we create a space free from avoidable disturbances. Our minds, unburdened by crises, can remain present and engaged with the richness of the moment. By ensuring that our surroundings support rather than disrupt our well-being, we practice respect for ourselves and for the life we inhabit. Every simple act of attention, from tightening a loose pipe to wiping a counter, becomes a meditation on presence, a reminder that even ordinary actions can carry extraordinary significance. In this way, the maintenance of harmony is both practical and spiritual, tangible and philosophical. By observing carefully, acting responsibly, and nurturing balance in the small details, we preserve stability and prevent unnecessary suffering. We learn that serenity does not arrive by chance but is cultivated through attentiveness, care, and deliberate action. Removing that one problematic element from a bathroom, or attending to any small disruption in our environment, is thus a gateway to a life guided by mindfulness, wisdom, and clarity. Through such simple acts, we protect our home, safeguard our resources, and cultivate an enduring sense of peace that flows outward into all aspects of life.